Hello everyone, welcome to Coaster Hour, and today Universal Studios just announced their fourth theme park in Florida called Universal's Epic Universe, and it will be the largest investment Universal has ever made in the theme park business. The park will sit on a 750-acre plot of land and will be located a few miles away from the existing Universal Orlando Resort that contains Universal Studios Florida, Islands of Adventure, and Volcano Bay, a water park which just opened in 2017. Now, past what I just mentioned, very little information was given about the park itself or what lands or themed areas may be inside the park, but fortunately Universal was kind enough to release a rendering of the park itself, and from this many people have been able to tell what lands we may or will be seeing in Epic Universe. So before I begin getting into the lands themselves, know that none of the information I'm about to give about the lands has been officially confirmed by Universal, and these are mostly rumors of what could be coming to the parks, and plans of the park may actually change. So with that said, let's get right into the lands of Epic Universe. Okay, so left of the park entrance, we find what is expected to be Super Nintendo World, as the art for this area shares many similarities with the Super Nintendo area models, and even the Super Nintendo area that appears in the trailer, as the entrance pattern looks the same in all three of these. Just as an example, the land itself will be split into two areas, with one of the areas being Mushroom Kingdom, which will be Mario themed, and the other area will be themed to Donkey Kong Country. As for what rides and attractions will be in Super Nintendo World, it appears that there will be an indoor Mario Kart attraction, as on the model it was actually labeled on there as Mario Kart attraction, and in the rendering there is this massive building where I believe the ride will take place. As for what the ride will look like, many have speculated that this ride could be a dynamic attractions dual powered coaster that seems like it could work for being a Mario Kart ride, as the ride model is capable of launching, dueling, and even drifting, which will make it feel like you're actually racing each other. So for this reason, this could end up being the ride model that the Mario Kart attraction ends up being. The next ride that we may see is a Yoshi Omnimover ride, and if you don't know what an Omnimover ride is, it is a slow moving ride that uses a conveyor belt to travel around its course, and an example of one of these rides is the Haunted Mansion that you can find in many Disney parks. It appears that this ride, however, will take place both outdoors and indoors, and it appears you will see and encounter thwomps, piranha plants, and even baby Yoshis. So while not the most exciting or intense ride, this Yoshi attraction still looks very fun. The last ride will be in the Donkey Kong Country area, and it looks like that this ride will be a roller coaster that will be like going through a minecart level in the Donkey Kong Country games, and it will likely feature both indoor and outdoor sections, as you can see the track and another large show building that it will go through. This ride will be likely one of the more thrilling attractions at the park, and it should be nothing short of amazing. Along with the rides, expect to see a lot of shops and restaurants, as well as a few Easter eggs that tie into the many Mario and Donkey Kong games in Super Nintendo World. Overall, I can't wait to see what Super Nintendo World ends up looking like when it is complete. Above and to the right of Super Nintendo World is what is likely to be the Universal Classic Monsters land. For those of you who don't know who any of the classic monsters are, the most well-known ones are Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy, Wolfman, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. This land will supposedly have Dracula's castle in it, and from the renderings, it looks kind of like a European village. As for the attractions in this area, while it is hard to tell or imagine what may go in here, some have guessed that there will be some sort of walkthrough attractions or mazes in the various buildings, along with possibly a dark ride also being included in the area. Since not much info is known about this Classic Monsters land, it'll definitely be interesting to hear more about this area in the coming months and years as Universal releases more information about Epic Universe. On the top right side of the park, there is the Fantastic Beasts land, and this area looks to be themed to New York City, which is where most of the first Fantastic Beasts movie takes place. This area has this massive building toward the back of the land, and I think inside this building will be a very immersive and impressive dark or screen ride, but it could also be an indoor section of the area, or it may even hold multiple attractions inside, as this building is absolutely massive. But for right now, there isn't much to go off of, but I know that whatever will be going inside the building will be fantastic. The final area I'll be talking about is the How to Train Your Dragon themed land, and it appears this will be the most kid or family oriented area of the park, so as such you can probably expect to see some play areas and games to be found here. There also appears to be a family coaster that goes around the area, and it looks like it'll go through a tunnel under a bridge and be a nice long ride that everyone can enjoy. Toward the back of the land, there's what appears to be another show building that I think may be used to create a screen ride themed to How to Train Your Dragon. And perhaps this ride could be similar to Soarin' Around the World at Epcot with how it seats, but in this case it would simulate you flying on a dragon, or with the dragons. Outside of the lands, there are a few other interesting buildings and areas. Near the entrance of the park, there appears to be what may be a carousel or flat ride of some sort over the water, and not too far from that, there is a large glass building that is also over the water that may serve as a restaurant or maybe somewhere where shows are to be shown. And to the left of the Classic Monsters land, there is a show arena that may have monster-themed shows, but as of now, what will be shown in the arena is currently unknown. Also, outside of the Monsters land, there is what appears to be another show area or restaurant that has a fiery kind of entrance. I've heard that this may be Hunger Games themed or related, but that is a complete guess at this point. To the right of the Classic Monsters land is a large hotel that from the renderings looks to be quite beautiful and grand, and it appears that if you stay in this hotel, you will have easy access to entering the park, which is always great to see. The hotel appears to have Greek-style pillars in the front, and the glass is a light blue color, which reminds me of water or the ocean, so maybe this hotel will be Atlantis themed or have a similar theme to something like Atlantis. In front of the hotel is what appears to be a water fountain show area, as it appears that there is a seating area around the display. Outside the Fantastic Beasts area, there is a building that looks to be space themed, and I think a screen-based attraction may be put in this building. Now, for one of the most eye-popping parts of the concept art, it appears that the new park will feature a dueling or racing launch coaster. Many have thought that this coaster would be themed to Fantastic Beasts or How to Train Your Dragon, but since the coaster's entrance is outside of both of the themed areas, I cannot see this happening, and also to go along with this, the entrance building doesn't look like it could be for either of these themes. So because of that, I think this coaster will actually be themed to Fast and Furious, as it would make a lot of sense because of the racing aspect of the movies and this coaster. And as for who will manufacture this ride, my guess is that Intamin will build this coaster since they just built Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure, another launch coaster at the Universal Resort, and are also rumored to be building a new Jurassic Park coaster at Islands of Adventure. With Universal Orlando's loss of Dueling Dragons or Dragon Challenge, it's good to see that there will be a new dueling roller coaster experience coming to Orlando. And that is my analysis and speculation on Universal's newest park, Universal's Epic Universe. Did you think I missed something? Let me know in the comments below, and if you like this video, then consider subscribing for more coaster and park related content here on Coaster Hour.